Welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a bed full of craft beer on the side.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade, and today we're talking about sex. Chapter 16, A Temple of the Winds.
Oh, okay.
Also, I guess it's not as, fun sex as, when we're talking about Kahlan and Richard. This is more, sad sex.
Yeah. Or, almost sex, but not quite.
Yeah.
That's the saddest of all, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I think we just get right into it today.
Yeah.
Tears roll down Kahlan's cheek as she starts to cry. She would never betray Richard, even to spare herself from the Keeper. Okay, sorry. Maybe I should have started with that Richard had just told Kahlan the prophecy.
Yeah, maybe a soft open would have been
This is her initial reaction to the prophecy.
Yeah, we opened with sex talk, and then we went to crying.
Then we went to sad stuff. Richard reminds her that the prophecies are more than just their words, and Jagang probably used that one because it sounded sinister, right? It was close to something that he figured, hey, I'm doing something that kind of sounds like that, or that could be useful to me, so he chose it. That's it. Goes no deeper than that.
He found some with some trigger words that might piss off Richard. That's what Richard's opinion is on it.
Right, he's using it to get a rise out of him, kind of. He holds her close as she sobs, and he goes on to explain that technically she already betrayed him by going against his wishes, which is just the thing you want to say to somebody when you're consoling them in your chest. Technically, you already did the bad thing, so it's whatever. I understand what he was saying, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel like you could probably talk earlier you ate my fucking piece of cake. You betrayed me.
Now that is a betrayal, but if you, that's a shot against you, but if you steal a brownie, if you take a brownie from Jade, you're sleeping outside.
Yeah. Especially one with the frosting on it.
Yeah.
It's my fave.
Okay.
That's why you would be bleeding.
Right, exactly. That's why I would betray you in my blood.
Yeah.
Blood would be a consequence of the betrayal.
Yes,
if I took your brownie.
Exactly.
Totally understood. I know. And technically, Kahlan was bleeding at the end of her not doing what Richard wanted her to do. Right? So
all fits.
She got hers. That's probably all it was. There was fire involved too, right? Marlon Jagang was throwing fireballs and shit in the sewer. So the prophecy is probably already fulfilled and over with. But, Jagang just wants us to be aware of it. So it freaks us out, gets into our heads. He's the enemy. He wants us to not be thinking clearly.
Yeah. He's trying to fuck your brain.
He's mind fuck you?
Yes, mind fuck you.
Well, Kahlan says she doesn't count that as a betrayal, but Richard says that's the point. Who knows what it actually means? And you can't just sit here and let the fear control you. You got to be able to function.
Well, and also Richard's point about how if you don't see it as a betrayal, that's not the point. That's true in anything. If you don't see something as a betrayal, but somebody else does, your feelings don't. Not that they don't matter, but the other person's feelings on the betrayal are what matters, not that you don't think it is.
The fact you were betrayed by somebody.
Yeah, if you're oh, you think I betrayed you, but I didn't think that was a betrayal, so...
That doesn't not make it a betrayal.
Right.
It just means you don't care.
Right.
Exactly.
That was my point.
Yeah.
You said it much more eloquently, but that's what I was trying to get across.
Well, and Kahlan does have to agree with what Richard's saying. Zed even told her that they were prophecies. He wouldn't tell her because the words weren't to be trusted.
Yeah.
Straight up saying, look, there's stuff that you don't know because just by me telling you, it's going to get inside your head and then you're going to do something because of it.
Yeah.
And then make a mistake.
Yeah, well, we know there's a lot of forked prophecies and that, a bunch of them lead to, dead limbs on the prophecy trees. So a lot of these things could end up being dead limbs unless you're prompted to climb that limb.
Yeah, to do something that would cause it to, like, kick off.
Yeah.
Accidentally because you were worried about it.
Yeah.
Literally shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Which is why prophecy is always such a fucky thing to deal with.
Yeah. It's that inky gray that you just can't quite.
Yeah, cool to know it's going to happen, but now it's going to happen for sure, and anything I do to prevent it is probably what's going to cause it to happen. Great.
Super. Just ignore it. Just tuck it away with your feelings deep down.
Yeah, you just know it's going to happen and be like, how am I going to deal with the repercussions of that? Cool.
Yep. Just come up with a plan. That's all you can do. Kahlan figures that this is why Ch.16 sent Nadine. That way, Kahlan can't betray him, effectively saving Richard's life. Look, if Nadine is there and Kahlan and Richard aren't together, then she can't betray him. Prophecy averted. Boom. Solved. All you got to do is just not fuck.
But, again, this
or
is
love
one
each
more,
other, I guess.
This is one more reason to look. Even if Kahlan doesn't think she would betray Richard, or if she is where she should, send that bitch away. You do not keep her there because you're like, oh, Ch.16 sent her as a great backup plan to keep Richard's heart safe. Let's keep her close.
Yeah, you don't keep her there after you've come to this, like, realization. Obviously, Ch.16 sent Nadine. We know that. We know why she's there, right? To get Richard to
marry her.
To go team Nadine.
Yeah.
Thus saving Richard's life. You know, she's trying to save him.
Yeah. So why would we even keep her here? Get her out of the equation and deal with what's left without the Nadine factor in it.
Because you know that Ch.16 is reacting to a prophecy, much like Zed was afraid Kahlan would. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's best to just do what you're going to do. Let it ride out.
Mm-hmm.
Richard points out that she's tried to help before, and had they taken that help, Dark and Rawl would have won. So there's another point. If we had listened to her before, everything would have been bad. So let's not start now. Yeah,
when she was all freaking out because Kahlan was going to confess him, like, yeah, that had to happen. So if they would have killed Kahlan to prevent that, then everything would have just never worked.
Right. Exactly. They wouldn't even be where they are now.
No. We would still have Dark and Rawl in charge.
Fuck. Well, he looks into her eyes and asks if she loves him. She says more than life itself. Then he says, then trust in me. I won't let it destroy us. It'll all fall into place in the end. Just like we were just saying, you know what? Let's just do our thing and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Besides, we can't find the solution if we're just over here focusing on the problem all day. And she's like, you're right. I'm sorry. That's all it was. Like, hey, let's come up with a plan.
Yeah. And this, I mean, the most logical thing at this point to do would be for them to continue this conversation just a little farther and just be like, okay, just so we're clear. I do not want to betray you. Anything that I do that you construe as a betrayal, just think on it for a day because I promise you I am not doing it to intentionally hurt you. I want the best for both of us, right? We're both on the same page.
Are you saying that Richard could just avert the entire prophecy by just 100% accepting whatever the hell Kahlan does for the rest of their lives? As long as she's like, nope, that's totally fine. Those are part of the agreement. She's going to do some stuff I don't like. It's not a betrayal. We agreed.
Yeah, well,
prophecy averted.
Maybe at the very least, don't think it's a betrayal until we speak and you understand where I was coming from. Because you know me in my heart, I would never hurt you. So don't jump to she hurt me, even if it hurts, right? Right?
It hurt in a different way, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's all I'm saying. They should just have like some ground rule. Like, okay, we know that there's going to be this thing that might come up. So let's just talk first before that. Yeah. Same page.
Just like you and me. And if I took your brownie, your metaphorical brownie, we would have a conversation where you would get it out of me that I took your brownie and then you would hurt me.
See, but here's the thing. If we had a conversation beforehand, we were like, there might be a betrayal. And then my brownie was missing. I would get heated, right? But then I would be like, okay, there has to be a reason he took my goddamn brownie. He must be bringing me brownies back, right?
Yes.
And then I would talk to you and find out what exactly the reason was. And if you had
more brownies,
a fairly good reason and more brownies, then we would be fine.
What if I just had more brownies? Where am I at then? Just curious. What if the reason was I straight up ate your fucking brownie? Because
you needed it, so you bought me more.
Okay.
If
you're good with it, I'm good with it.
That's what I'm saying.
I just want to know.
You can talk through some of these things and make it work as long as, there's not malice in the act.
Okay. I just wanted the brownie. No malice.
Yeah.
Only love for brownies.
And you weren't being like, fuck you and your I'm going to make sure that you can't have the brownie. Yeah, you weren't like, I'm going to make sure Jade can't eat this brownie. So, cool. You brought me them. You brought me more.
I made it right, so it's all okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then Richard asks, do you want to marry me? She's like, yeah, but I don't know how we're going to make it work. We've already talked about this and got nowhere with it, by the way. They want to go to the Mud People. Well, Richard finally reveals his plan. He wants to use the Sliff. Yeah, see? They can make it to the old world in less than a day, get married, partied with the Mud People, fuck 2 or 10 times, and then get back without all those weeks of travel. Just a few days, and they can surely afford that.
I mean, a great plan, except with everything going on, I don't know that they could surely afford 2 or 3 days at this juncture right now. Do you think that it's because he wants to fuck 2 or 10 times, or do you think he's worried about the betrayal comment in, like, they both wanted to get married really bad before this. They both want to fuck, right? Those things are established. But until Richard read that prophecy, he wasn't, determined to figure out the answer and do it right now.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So, do you think he read that prophecy and was like, okay, we better slap a ring on that thing and hopefully there won't be a betrayal before that?
I mean, it had to have been something close to that. Obviously, the prophecy being a factor accelerated his idea of when they should get married.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't doubt that he wants to marry Kahlan as soon as possible. Yeah. I totally know that he does. But also, I feel like because this is happening, it's, I'm going to marry you before we literally go to war because I want to, die having been married to you, potentially.
Yeah.
Rather than not being. So.
Yeah. Or if you're going to betray me, at least it'll be after all the fun party and the sex.
Yeah. I mean, we get to have the fun part, the fun time. That makes it sound so immature. We do fun time, though, right? Yeah. We get the good stuff out of the way, and then,
Then we'll deal.
We'll figure out, yeah. So Kahlan is worried that the Sliff will bring them too close to Tanamura. That's the last place that it brought them, and it's also very near to where Jagang is right now. So that is not the ideal place to go.
Yeah.
But Richard remembers being asked where he wants to travel, so he thinks that it can go to other places too. I assume, yeah. Yeah, he's like, where do you want to go? Then obviously it goes to more than one place. Yeah, no, I agree with that. You don't know where. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the chance that they have one at the Mud People, I mean, I'm not going to say whether or not, it's crazy that you would be like, yeah, maybe they have one in the village in the wilds that they had built. Yeah, exactly where they want to go. Yeah, of all the places in the Midlands, they're like, maybe there's one right there. I don't think Richard actually thinks that, but it's just insane to even fathom that possibility. To hope that maybe. Yeah. No, I went the other way. I was like, yeah, the only other one, and it's in Jagang's camp right now. So do you want to go there? Do you want to go even closer? Yeah. No, thanks. Or how do you even know how to ask where to go? Like, do you just, can you go here? Can you go here? Can you go here? Yeah, he said. Do you really want to say, give me a list of all the places you can go? Yeah, he said Old World last time, and it just happened. It just went to the one spot. Him very close to where he had to go. You don't know if any of these places are still called the same things that they were back in the day. Or still there. Yeah. Yeah. Problems. So, Kahlan asks him how he managed to figure it out. And he's like, dude, I am very, very motivated. And Kahlan was about... Okay, so that alludes to the sex being the biggest factor. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe not the biggest factor, but a very, very big factor. Yeah. Very hard, big factor. Yes. So she was about to reward him with something downright indecent.
Ooh.
When there is a knock at the door.
God damn it.
Fuck! So, okay. What's indecent for Kahlan and Richard? I'm curious, because they seem more concerned with, like, you know, at least this whole conversation of not having sex before marriage was one we had for about 2 seconds and then laughed, and then that was over with.
Yeah.
But this is a consideration for them. So what, barring that, do you think was Kahlan's indecent thing?
She was probably going to brush her hand against it.
She's gonna bump it a little.
Yeah. Like, she's not going to take her... She takes her so long to get dressed and shit. She's not going to take her clothes off or show them her tits or anything. It's definitely going to be...
Okay, so we're not talking bases. We're just talking...
Yeah.
Maybe hands.
Yeah.
Some heavy petting, we'll say.
And if she's going to reward him with something positively indecent, it's probably just going to be her like, hey, you know what I could do with this? Not now, but someday.
Let's get to that marriage, buddy.
Yeah.
But of course, they're interrupted with a knock at the door. Fun. Always exactly when you want somebody uninvited.
Yes.
Well, without waiting for an answer, we meet Nancy.
Rotund Nancy.
Rotund Nancy. She opens the door and tells them that Nadine would like to change Kahlan's poultice.
Of course she would.
Unless you're busy, of course. No, we're not doing anything at all. With a glance at Richard, she adds that they will need to take the top of her dress down, you know, to get at the bandage. So
better get out of here, Richard.
He kisses the top of Kahlan's head, and he's like, look, it's fine. Like he just had his dreams crushed.
I would look right at Nancy and be like, I've seen her bathe. I've seen her naked in the spirit world. Just so we're all clear. Like, I've seen them titties, so...
You're not protecting me from anything.
You're not protecting her either.
We're not friends.
Yeah.
But he's got some work for Berdine to do anyways. He clarifies that it's not going to be a punishment. They just need to go over Kolo's journal, right? The punishment was the training of the chipmunks.
Yeah.
Knowledge is a weapon, he says, and he intends to be formidably armed, which is a badass line.
Yeah, that's a quote I've always remembered. It's written down in some of my books.
Brains are going to fucking win this thing, so I am not going to be unprepared.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart, motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, even in so many different ways it applies. Like, in order to use weapons, you need to have knowledge too. So, like, in every sense of that statement is true. Knowledge is a weapon, and you need it to be formidably armed.
So before he leaves, he asks Nancy if she needs help getting Kahlan out of her dress. No? You sure? All right, just checking. I guess I'll go polish my sword or something. When they're finished, he wants to go see Dreffin, and he would like Kahlan to be there, which I get.
Yeah, long lost brother time.
Which is an experience I've had and is intense.
Yeah, it can be. I wasn't with you when you met your brother. I was with you when you met your mom.
No, you weren't. But that's how I know for certain that it would have been nice to have you there.
Oh.
It wasn't like a bad experience or anything. It was just, you know, all very new, and having a comfort person there probably would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
But we had a fine time.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice when I think I helped you and your mom when you met your birth mom.
Yeah, you were there when I met my birth mom.
Yeah.
So that was all. Yeah, no, you had to be there for that because I didn't know what I was going to do.
It went fine, though.
Yeah, that one went okay, too. But it's a very... me personally, I had never seen another human being that looked anything like me, so it can be very shocking.
Yeah, because they all look identical to you.
And I'm the short one. What the shit is that?
Yeah.
That's the most frustrating thing. Anyways. Once alone, she asks Nancy if her parents always barged in on her when she was alone with her fiance. And she's like, yeah, they totally fucking did. And they were right to do it, which is just fucking frustrating. She was young and innocent after all. And Kahlan says, well, I'm a grown-ass woman and I can decide for myself. Me.
Yeah, you were young. I'm like past marrying age, especially for a confessor. So leave me the fuck alone.
She's like, hey, all right, hey, if you say so. And Kahlan says, oh, I fucking say so. Unless I specifically tell you to open that door, it doesn't move. Are we clear? Once it's closed, it's closed. Put a shield on it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you get zapped if you touch the handle. Like, no, sorry, it is past 8 p.m. You are not getting in here.
You would think that Richard's need would allow him to be able to do that.
The door would just weld itself closed instantly.
Yeah. That's how his power works, right? You can't control it unless he actually, like, really needs to.
Doors just start locking when he's horny.
When he's alone with Kahlan.
Whenever they're alone. Click. Did you just do the thing? Oh, yeah.
He can suddenly do wind powers, too, and shove people away. Out!
That would be useful.
You know what I think would be useful right now?
What would be useful right now?
A beer break.
Fuck yeah!
And I have just the one. So when we went to House Rules, I actually tried this for the first time. And it is actually another IPA.
It's an IPA
that I kind of approve of. So it's called, it's from Short Fuse Brewing Company. I don't know why those letters together are difficult, but they are. It is For Goodness Shakes, and it's a vanilla milkshake IPA. And I actually went on their website, and they have like 20 different flavors. Like, vanilla is the most vanilla of all of them. They have like watermelon, strawberry, like a whole bunch of them.
Oh, so they have like fruit combos and stuff.
I'm gonna have to go find some more because I enjoyed this. It doesn't taste like an IPA, really. Like, there was hops, but it wasn't like overly hoppy like most IPAs, which make me hate them.
Yeah, it's the bitter part that you don't really care for.
Right. So it's like creamy and silky, and it makes you have like that mouthfeel of a milkshake, but without the milkshake part.
I like stouts. I like things on nitro too that are really smooth because of that. I like it when it's smooth.
Yeah. Well, this one was smooth and it was good, and it wasn't overly powerful with the hops in your face, and it was vanilla-y. So I liked it. I would drink again. And that's my take on that.
I don't have a take on that because I didn't actually try that one. I'm a little bummed out now.
Yeah, I don't think they have a rotating tap, so we'll just have to go buy them.
Okay, twist my arm. Yeah. We can buy them there at House Rules.
Yeah. Or go to a different beer store and find one of the many different options they had.
Sounds good to me, baby. All right, well, we are going to go top up, and we'll be back right after this. And we're back. And we're about to have an uncomfortable conversation. Doesn't that sound fun?
The best.
The best. Nancy points out the bed and says, your parents made you in that bed. Which is, what every little girl wants to hear.
Yeah, I want to be sleeping in that. New sheets, new mattress. Now.
It's funny
Nancy.
now how
now.
Bad. Right, exactly. We'll get rid of all of that. You can keep the frame. Everything else has to be new. It's funny now how Richard's like, yeah, I want in that bed. And then you hear just like, hey, your parents, right
there.
And he's like, well, not that bed, but like another one where this one is.
Kahlan, you see the stain? That would have been your sister.
We're burning that. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how uncomfortable that is.
I'm like, the words are not shocking to me, but in that context, be like, hey, see that there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Kayla.
Uh-huh.
Anyways. Wow. You do shock me sometimes. You do. Let's see here. Oh, and then she goes on to say, who knows how many mother confessors have, right? This is a thing that the mother confessors take their mates and they go to that bed and do their business.
Mother confessors
after they, quote unquote, marry or take a mate.
Well, yeah, that's what she says. She says they all waited till they were married because it's tradition, but we've never heard of this tradition. It's always kind of been implied that they took mates. And I mean, we've never even talked about the marriage.
Oh, that it
like maybe a little bit,
wasn't necessarily like a marriage. They just took a mate.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit in our little Patreon live after show that we did. But it's just it's strange to me that it would even be a thing that that they have to have this tradition in general because the confessors don't got to worry about their man running away after having sex with them. They're tied to them, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Like, I confessed you. You are mine. I don't need to wear the white. I'm already wearing the white dress. Why are we don't need anything else. Just get to doing it. That's
just get to it.
Yeah, and we don't even do this for fun. We were doing this just because you're like my pet and you're like, I need a baby. So get in the bed. And that's how it worked.
But Nancy says it's better to stay in the spirit's good graces, and that does not seem like good grace territory.
No.
Well, Kaylin points out that none of those kids were born from love, but her child will be. Which, fair, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fair, sure, but like, doesn't really change anything about what you're talking about now.
No.
Like, yes, you love each other, and those other mother confessors obviously did not. Right? That was a mating thing. They might have liked the guy fine, but like, you know, and I don't see how, I guess on an emotional level, she's like, yeah, we love each other and that makes us different from all of them. And I totally see that. But you're arguing to be left alone and Nancy is saying no because of it's improper. I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
I think Kaylin's angling to say, hey, if we were to fuck and I were to get pregnant before marriage, that baby is, you know, we actually love each other. This was a consensual relationship.
We want to get married. We actually both want to get married, and he's not confessed.
So there shouldn't be any reason for the good spirits to have an issue. Now, all those other babies that were conceived were essentially conceived from rape.
Yep.
In a way. So I feel like the good graces, the good spirits might, like, for them to have been like, it's cool because you married the dude that you're going to rape for the baby is weird. So I see I think that's where Kaylin's coming from. Like, those were all rape babies, even if they were married rape babies. I am having a real love baby.
A love baby. Yes.
So the spirits,
I love that. This is a love baby.
Yeah. So the spirits should grant us graces anyways. And I guess even if they don't, who cares?
Well, and she totally leaves out the fact that the spirits already totally gave them the green light.
Yeah.
Like,
the
they are
light.
married in spirit right now already.
Yeah, they already done the thing.
The green light. Don't go into the green light. That's actually the underworld, as we know.
They got the white light.
The big white light.
And the clouds.
Maybe some soft pink or red light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rose petal colored.
Yeah. Some berry white.
I know. Oh.
God. Oh.
I love it so much. They're like, what do we do now? And then the spirits of the sky just start playing some Barry White, baby. They're like, oh. Hey, where'd this bed come from?
This cloud weirdly shaped itself into a bed. Oh, my clothes are falling off. Strange.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Nancy asks Kaylin if she's just eager to get to it.
Yeah.
And Kaylin thinks, if Nancy only knew. Well, duh. Of course we want to get to it.
Nancy, how old were you when you got married? 15? 15? You really want to talk to me about how I'm being so eager about it when I'm like 20 fucking 7?
Yeah.
Eat a dick, Nancy.
But Kaylin, she does not admit to just being horny as fuck. She's like, no, I just don't want you walking in on me all the time.
Privacy.
You finally said it, though, Kaylin. Good for you.
Yeah.
She's just like, hey, I just don't like you doing that, okay? Stop.
Yeah.
She tells Nancy that they are going to be married soon. They're already committed to each other, and there's more to being married than just fucking. Which, true.
Yeah.
There's like holding each other and stuff. You know, cuddles.
Yeah. All the other stuff.
How is she supposed to give him kisses and be tended to by him if she's always interrupting?
How's he gonna eat my thing if you're gonna keep walking in?
And then Nadine knocks on the door. Fuck! Bye-bye, Nancy. If I was Kaylin, I would be losing my mind right now with everybody knocking on the door. I'd be like, no, you know what? Nobody gets in. I'm closing the door. You guys can fuck off. And I will not unlock it for anybody but Richard.
Well, especially Nadine, because you know that Nancy went out in the hall, and the two of them are standing out there, and Richard and Kaylin are hanging out, and it takes longer than either of them like, and Nadine's like, what are they doing in there? And then she prompted them to kick Richard out of the room so they couldn't have more alone time. It was all Nadine being a nosy, meddling little...
A little what? A little... No, it doesn't sound good.
It's not. It's not good.
Nadine gets to work on Kaylin's bandage. As she's working, Kaylin notices her dress. Her now super tight dress. And it is the same one from yesterday. She knows that. Nadine says, oh, you know what? I tore a seam when we took our little swim, so I had to take it in. So you had to tighten it up to save the material. You can stitch the two sides of the ripped material together.
Plus she lost some weight on the journey.
Yeah, she lost some weight, so she had to do it anyway. You know,
Yeah.
It's not too tight. It's fine. But Kaylin's like, why don't we get you a new one? Something more comfortable.
Yeah.
What she leaves out is she wasn't talking about Nadine's comfort. She was talking about Kaylin's comfort.
Yeah, well, it's just odd to me that if you're offered a garment from the most rich person in the city, right, after you just repaired your old ratty one, if you weren't just trying to look hot in your way too tight clothes, you'd probably be like, hell yeah, I'm poor.
Fuck yes, I'll take
Buy me a
another
nice-ass dress, bitch.
Yeah.
On your bill, right?
Yeah, well,
Can I have
yeah.
6?
She is rendering her services right now. You know, she is a healer of sorts. Kinda. I mean, look, she didn't do much for Kara, but she is helping Kaylin, and that counts. Richard appreciates it, so maybe that's payment as of now.
I'm just saying, if I were Kaylin, her refusal would immediately put my back up even more.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Unappreciative.
I
Check.
see where we're at now.
And then she has to move to the outskirts of town, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Now you go.
Oh, yeah, take your tight-ass dress and get the fuck out of my premises.
Well, she's got to check her cut. She takes all of a half a second to like, yep, cut's good. Hey, Richard seemed mad when he left just now. Are you guys fighting?
This is the worst.
Conniving little. Kaylin says defensively, no, he was just upset about something else. Nothing about me. Nadine says, hey, you know what? It's okay. People fight sometimes, and I'm sure Richard will come around. I love this part so much. Kaylin, no, please go ahead.
Real quick, he didn't seem that mad when he walked out, though. He wasn't.
He was sexually frustrated.
Yeah, he was maybe irritated that he had to leave, but
yeah,
that was about it. Other than that, he had just left in a good mood. He was joking, kind of.
Yeah, he did say it was fine and that he had, stuff to go through with Berdine anyways.
Yeah.
So he's not like having a tantrum.
Yeah, and he gave her a kiss and walked out of the room. So I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I feel like while both of them are definitely frustrated at this point, they're on solid ground with each other.
Yeah, he didn't storm out of the room.
Yeah, Nadine saying that at all is just to instigate something.
Yes.
Like, hey, are you mad? And then if holy shit, it's just like the prophecy. Maybe they weren't fighting, but then Kahlan goes to Richard later and is like, hey, what were you mad about? Kahlan or Nadine said you were mad, and then that causes the fight.
Then he's like, oh, you're going to take Nadine's word over mine?
Exactly. It's just like prophecy.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Run away, Richard. But Kahlan clears her throat and says, well, actually, he's mad because I told him about your little plan to let him catch you kissing. No, I'm sorry, fucking his brother. And Nadine says, oh, that.
That.
Yeah, that. Nadine finishes her work in about a half a second, saying, I'm going to have to redo this later, and makes for the door, which, as we all know, is on the wall.
Oh, you don't want to talk anymore, Nadine, about why Richard
What's
was
your
mad?
rush?
I thought we were going to have a conversation about Richard's feelings.
Yeah, I thought we were girl gossing over here. What the hell? Now you're trying to leave?
What the fuck?
Give me the goods. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Kahlan says, you lied to me, and gestures towards a chair, inviting Nadine to tell her side of the story. You lied. Sit the fuck down. We're going to have a talk now. Now we're talking.
I would just want to be like, you lied in the confessor's palace. And just to remind you, my boyfriend, Richard, he's a seeker of truth. So you came to this place where people confess and with the seeker of truth inside of it, and you tried to lie to me.
Literally the stupidest place to do that.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah.
So she says, okay, it breaks down like this. Nadine wanted Richard to lay claim to her. So if he caught her fucking Michael, then he'd have to get in there, figuratively and literally, to make sure the baby was his and not Michael's. So her plan was to let Richard catch her fucking Michael and then be like, hey, big boy, why don't you get on in here too?
Yeah. Well, and she also thought that he would just be like so lust-filled by seeing her fucking him that he'd be like, I need to get that, and I don't want Michael to take it, so I better say, even without the baby part of it, I have to say she's mine. So I'm going to fuck her and then say she's mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Once it's claimed, if they both claim, then it's up to her.
Yeah.
Right? So then she can be like, well, then I'm just going to marry Richard because it's up to me.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, then I'll marry Michael. No big deal.
One or the other.
Which is absolutely insane.
Stupid. Yeah. Yes, Jade, it is. So after they had their little menage a trois, is that what that is? Did I just say it funny and say the wrong word at the same time?
I think menage a trois would have been if there were more than two people.
Yeah, I'm talking about three.
But they didn't have one.
No, they didn't, but this is the plan.
Oh.
This is what her idea of what was going to happen.
Okay.
So after the three of them fuck, right? The next time that Richard or Michael came around looking for a piece, she was going to say no. And then Richard would probably claim her out of frustration because he wants her so bad. Now that he's had a little taste, he wants more.
Yeah, she's such a freaking sheets. Or not really in the sheets, because she was right out there in the open or whatever, but...
Oh, well, yeah. But, okay, so if he didn't claim her, and Michael did, and she got pregnant, then she could say the baby was Richard's. And he'd marry her because the baby might be his. There's a chance, so he would definitely jump in. But if Richard didn't claim her, and she didn't get pregnant, well, then there was always Michael. Second best is better than none.
And he's going to be an important man anyway, so might as well,
Yeah, I mean, he's literally the leader of the Midlands, so I don't see why that's bad.
Yeah, no, it definitely would. Well, not the Midlands, the Westland. He was before he died.
Westland, you're right. I'm sorry, I misspoke. So Kahlan doesn't want to admit to Nadine that she doesn't actually know what happened next. I mean, she is interrogating her right now. She wants to know what Nadine knows, but she's going to feign that she does know.
Well,
right?
yeah. Yeah, she wants the full story, and she doesn't know if this plan worked at all. Like, maybe Richard did fuck Nadine, and then he said no or something. She wants to know for sure. So if she slips up and says, well, I know that he said no to you, so what happens next? Then she's going to be like, oh, so you don't know.
Yeah.
So she has to get it out of her.
So, I mean, what she does is fucking brilliant, though, right? She just glares at her.
Yeah.
She just is like, no, keep talking. We're not finished here. You're not done explaining to me everything that happened. And gives her the silent treatment from hell.
Which is a very well-used interrogation technique, too. They just sit there and let you stew in your anxiety until you just can't have to fill the silence with something.
It forces you to keep talking. She literally folded her arms and just waited. I imagine there was a sigh in there, too. Like, what are you waiting for?
Yep. Get to it.
They do this, isn't it interrogations all the time?
Yeah.
Where, like, they're quiet, obviously. They force you to keep talking so you'll overshare. But they also lead you to believe that, look, they already know what happened. You just got to confirm it for them. That's all they're really looking for.
Oh, yeah. At the end of all of this, she makes a comment about how Richard didn't tell me, you just did. Like she hadn't lied to get the conversation going. Like,
oh, yeah.
And cops do that a lot, too. Well, you just told me. Well, I mean, you kind of forced it out of me, but
not the same thing.
Semantics.
Well, it didn't work out the way Nadine thought it would. So Richard came in. She's in there riding on Michael. She smiles at him.
Lance.
And Michael's Lance. His little shriveled Lance. And she invites him to join. By the way, that's a conversation beforehand, right?
Yeah, how do you think Michael felt about that?
Oh, Michael, it's your brother. Why don't we let him in here? And he's like, no, fuck my brother. No, don't fuck my brother. Forget about my brother. We're doing a thing right now, right?
Yeah, because Michael's always, like, jealous of Richard anyways. So he probably would have been like, bitch, the fuck?
But Richard, he just didn't say anything. He just walked away.
Yeah.
He's like, no, nah.
As you would. If the girl you were, like, you know, wooing and, like, trying to hang out with, and you're like, ooh, she's kind of cute. Ooh, maybe she'll be my wife someday. And then you walk in and she's fucking your brother. You're probably going to be like,
So that's done now.
Not my scene.
Like any rational person would.
Yeah.
And after this, right, she goes to Michael and she's like, well, you know, you claimed me. And he straight up laughs at her.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I did not. And then he never came back. He got what he wanted and he fucking outed.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm assuming that she just kind of laid it out there for Michael and was like, hey, man, you want to do it? And so I'm sure that she didn't come up to him beforehand and was like, hey, do you maybe want to get married? Like, you know, there was no wooing or, like, set up to get married between her and Michael.
I guarantee Michael did not say he wanted to marry her.
Right. So, and I'm sure she didn't allude to that either. She was just like, let's get it on. And then he was like,
right? Yeah.
He was like, cool, town whore, let's do it. And then now she's like, oh, let's get married. He's like, no.
Oh, married? No, sorry. I don't know if you noticed, but I did not leave my toothbrush at your place. So, see you around, though. Yeah. So after a stunned silence, Kahlan says, why don't you just try to seduce Richard? Like, why don't you be like, hey, I like you, you like me, why don't we do this thing? And Nadine, I'm sorry, she goes, he'd be ready for it. You know, some other girls tried it and didn't work. And since jealousy and lust are a man's strongest emotions, that's what I figured would send him over the edge.
Okay, first of all, other girls tried it.
Here it comes. First of all.
Maybe he didn't like the other girls, but he liked you, so maybe his lust would overcome his chastity, and he would do it with you.
She was already farther than those other girls got.
Yeah.
He was spending more time with her.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Nadine, you were already winning. Damn it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, no, he's not going to be ready
See the frustration.
for you fucking his brother, but that's not going to make him so horny. Like, I just can't. He would be ready for you attempting to seduce him, but he wouldn't be ready for you fucking his brother, and that means that he would want to marry you. What? No. You at least try. At least lean in for a kiss, brush it a little bit, like Kahlan was doing earlier,
just bump it a little.
Something. Edge, she's talking about sending him over the edge. Try to get him to the edge a little bit closer. Yeah. Like, you're not a young girl at this point either.
If you're trying to get him over the edge, let him walk to the cliff himself.
Yeah.
And if you give him every opportunity to do that, and he's interested, he will respond.
And maybe,
you know what I mean?
This is a wild take, okay? Wild take.
All right.
But maybe you could talk to the guy that you're interested in, right? And be like,
what?
Hey, I noticed that you turned down all the other girls. Are you not interested in marriage? Or girls? Or is it just not
What's
the right
deal,
one?
Bud? Yeah.
Are you waiting for the right one? And then that conversation opens up into, what are you looking for? Oh, girl with blonde or brunette hair and brown eyes.
You could even go more passive than that. You could be like, well, I have noticed that you've been spending more time with me and not even bringing up the aspect of like, you know what I'm saying? Just
I
be
could
like,
be one.
I mean, you seem to be spending time with me. Is there something you like about me?
Yeah.
You got to fish a little bit, but like.
And then you could even take it to a rational place and just be like, okay, Richard, okay, if you don't really want to be in a marriage with somebody or you don't like women, whatever your deal is, bud, whatever the reason is that you haven't found a girl yet, we could be in a marriage and then just not do this, like do a business arrangement. You try to just talk
more
to him.
transactional.
Yeah, talk to him. Just feel out
where
what
he's
he wants.
at.
Yeah. Instead of fucking his brother.
That's the thing. See
how about that?
He wants. Once you fuck his brother, he probably doesn't want that anymore.
He doesn't even want to have the conversation anymore, really. Yeah. So, that was just, I know, wild take.
So dumb.
But maybe talk.
Well, here's a wild take for you. Nadine is pissed that Richard told Kahlan. She goes, I can't believe he told you that. Like, why wouldn't that be a conversation between them? Of course it would. And of course Richard is going to tell Kahlan what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. But yeah.
He didn't, but like.
You showed up on our doorstep randomly.
I think it's more Nadine is shocked that Richard told her.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he have?
Yeah, she's shocked that he, let her know something super embarrassing and personal about the two of them. But yeah, I mean, in most situations, you should assume you showed up on a very intense couple's doorstep.
Yeah.
And you're a pseudo ex, not even a real ex. But yeah, most wives or girlfriends would be like, okay, honey, we're going to sit down tonight and you're going to tell me everything.
Everything. Well, she's in the chair, so she's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about Richard and Kahlan.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
I know they haven't because he was like, I don't want to talk about it. And Kahlan, respected his wishes.
He's got a couple witches around, yeah.
But most couples, it would be normal for them to have had a sit-down conversation and be like, tell me everything that happened because this bitch is in my house right now and she wants to marry you.
Yeah, no shit. She's here now. Let's deal with this.
Yeah, she's in love with you.
But Kahlan gets her perfect moment here because then she gets to be like, he didn't actually tell. Wait, actually, yeah, that needs to be a conversation later. But you just told me that all by yourself. You might have grown up with him, but you don't know a thing about him.
Ouch.
Yeah. Obviously, Richard was not going to be excited about everything you just had planned, Nadine. She's like, well, it might have worked. No, it wouldn't have.
No. Maybe on some other stupid, not even on some other man. Literally no human being.
Not that. I mean, she goes on to say he wants what he sees, and I was just trying to show him what I had to offer, which, by the way, reminds me of Hannibal when he's talking to Clarice. He's like, don't your eyes linger over the things you want most?
Oh.
I thought that was just a cool little tie-in. I was like, yeah, she's being kind of creepy, but you know. But here's the thing. Given Richard doesn't just want what he sees. He's a little bit deeper than that. But like, he did see you. He was spending time with you. That was happening before you fucked with it.
Oh, she's talking about her titties, Nate.
I know she's talking about her titties, but she's trying to accelerate this thing that probably was going to happen. Okay, hey, had Kahlan not happened,
Yeah.
which apparently was written in the stars with prophecy,
Yeah.
so it was going to happen. But had that not happened, like, there's a solid chance that Richard and Nadine redeem.
I think...
Or knittered.
Ooh.
Nadered?
Weird.
Nadered.
Anyways... I just also think
Natured.
Okay. I just also think that description of Richard is not accurate. He wants what he sees, and he wants what he sees and he always gets what he wants. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. That does not really
describe Richard as a person.
No. But like, what I mean by he wants what he sees, I guess I don't really agree with all that, but like, he saw Nadine. He saw her on a deeper level than just tits. He saw her.
I agree with what you're saying.
I'm totally fumbling
if
here.
he was of that mindset, then he would have already been seeing it and it wouldn't have been a thing. But my point is just that shows how wildly off she is about Richard's character, even more so.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right. Kahlan says, Nadine, you've got to be just about the stupidest person that I have ever fucking met. And that's saying something. I've met some bad ones. Nadine says, you know what it's like to love him, to want him. I wanted him just as bad as you, which, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. I think you wanted it. You just didn't want to earn it.
You didn't really know him, so you can't.
Right. You can't love something you don't know.
Yeah.
But she says, tell me you wouldn't have done the exact same thing. Kahlan says that love isn't about taking what you want. It's about wanting happiness for the one you love. And Nadine, she's not having it. She's just like, no, you do the same thing. But Kahlan thinks about the prophecy, about the one in white betraying the one bonded to the blade, and says, no, Nadine, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do anything to even chance hurting Richard. I'd live a life of misery before that. Hell, I'd even let you have him.
Ooh, foreshadowing. But, again, I feel like that, yeah, she doesn't want to hurt him, so she would go out of her way to not hurt him in any way, which...
Even if that meant sacrificing her own happiness.
Yeah, but, earlier in this book, we talked about Richard talking to Kara about how... a betrayal isn't a mistake. A mistake is not a betrayal. A betrayal is something you do on purpose.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll get into it more as this book goes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
We will.
Oh, man. Well, you know what I want to get into right now?
What?
Another email.
Yay!
Yeah! This is from Caro. Caro is in Germany, I believe.
They've been listening for a very, very long time.
Yes. Oh, yeah. One of the early ones, in fact.
Yes.
Let's see here. This says, hey, Jade. Hey, Nate. Wow, it's almost your 200th episode. That's amazing.
Woo!
Congratulations. Thank you. It's really awesome to listen to your podcast every week. I remember when I started listening, you were already in the second book, and I had a lot of catching up to do, which was great because I had so many episodes to listen to.
Oh, wow. Maybe it's just been that long that I feel like they've been around forever.
Yeah, we're officially past 3 years doing the show. So, and now each Tuesday, I am looking forward to the next dive into these great books. Every episode is so much fun. I really enjoy listening to you.
Like that.
Even if it's a serious topic as it was in last week's episode and after show, or for example, when you talked about mental health in the after show, you still managed to make it fun to listen to. And you always bring at least a smile to my face when I listen to an episode. Often make me laugh a lot, which is great because I always know I will have a good time listening to the podcast.
Which we like to hear because
we love to hear,
those harder episodes are, we never know how it's going to turn out afterwards. We're like, okay, we're going to do this and try and make it a good thing to listen to. And hopefully it doesn't turn into this terrible mess.
Yeah. If it's too sad, we'll be like, oh, maybe we'll try this again.
Yeah, we're not trying to make fun of it, but...
Thanks for listening. Sorry we depressed you.
Yeah.
Last week's chapter was a really tough one. It's always kind of hard to read through a passage where there's conflict between characters who are on the same side and who you all love. But just as in life, such conflicts have to come up from time to time. Which, it's true. They do. It's not enjoyable, but you get through those things and it makes it better.
Yeah.
The way Richard handles Kara's request to die is just... She spelled that out. So many feels. I am sure what he did was the only way to stop her from committing suicide, even though it is scary how close he, at least kind of, came to killing her himself. It was hard for him too, I imagine, to give in to all these negative thoughts towards a person he actually loves. On the other hand, in a way, it might have been even kind of good for him because this way he could give in to and thus rid himself of his anger towards her in a rather safe way. That is, as long as he can rely on the sword stopping in time, which was a gamble. After all, it can be hard to accept feeling angry at someone important to you.
Yeah, no, and he definitely seemed to have slaked that anger a little bit after that. And in this chapter, he's back to doing Kolo's journal with Berdine.
Yeah.
He has been, which is one of the things when she asked him, when he was all pissy, she's like, can we do the journal? And he was like, maybe tomorrow. Brr. And now he's like, okay, we're cool.
Now he's doing that with Berdine, but the other Mordsith, Kara, they weren't let in the room.
Yeah.
So all that he's still
mad.
Yeah, doing something about it.
He still doesn't trust them. He's trying to get a point across the point that he's disappointed and he doesn't trust them still.
Yeah, exactly. She goes on to say, so yeah, really tough one this chapter. Poor Kara. Totally agree. By the way, I really like it that in the after shows you now often talk about one specific topic, like the ritual suicide or things like the mind control with Aaron and stuff like that. Always really interesting, although those after shows where you just talked more about the chapter itself were fun to listen to as well.
That's, I liked that piece of that because that's much how we both feel about that. There's some chapters that we want to go off into the, other topic.
Other stuff, yeah.
And then there's some chapters that are just so full of shit that I feel like we need extra time to, pick through it. And we've been trying to figure out the best way to, balance that. But I think popping them, wherever they're appropriate.
We feel. We're being flexible.
Whatever's appropriate for the episode. But I'm glad that it's coming across well.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
That is good feedback, and we both really, really appreciate that.
Yes.
So these were just a few thoughts I wanted to share with you. Looking forward to your 200th episode tomorrow. Great. Also, I thought of you guys on the weekend. There was a craft beer festival in my town, which is not very common over here in Germany. She is in Germany. But it was a nice way to try some different beers. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite convince the friends I was there with of how interesting craft beer can be, but I tried my best. Well, then, are they really your friends? I ask you. I'm kidding.
The most important thing is that you drank it and you enjoyed it.
That's absolutely right. Beer is to be enjoyed. The attached photo is from that beer festival. They had those glasses there that say hop. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is in German. Hopfen It sounds much more simple than it looks, I promise. Which means thanks to hops, which is really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I got to remember that. Hopfen Got that dank.
Is it dank or donk?
Dank. I just clicked off the note.
No, I know it's an A.
Dank.
But do they pronounce
Hopfen which is SEI. So it could be say or, I'm guessing it's C. Hopfen C. Dank, which means thanks to hops.
But yeah, I didn't know if they pronounced that other word possibly differently.
Oh, you mean because you know what? You know what, though? You could be right.
That's all.
You could totally be. I'm like, no, it's dank. That's how it's spelled. That might be the American way. And then she closes by saying, have a great day and hopefully a wonderful week. Lots of love to you guys. Yours, Caro.
Lots of love right back to you.
That's right. Thank you, Caro.
Or Caro?
It could be. Well, I know her name is longer than that, but she shortened it here,
okay,
so I didn't know.
You're just,
yeah,
okay.
I'm just,
you probably know better than
I'm
me.
not gonna put her last name and address or anything like that on blast. Maybe that wouldn't be cool.
Dox her on the podcast. Yeah.
I will call whoever writes in, whatever you put at the end of your email. That is what we will go by. Instead of like your information from receiving an email, that wouldn't be okay. But if you wanted to write an email, you could totally do that. Let us know what you thought about this episode, the podcast in general, or if you just want to throw some theories at us, that's fine too. We're always happy to get them. But you can send it to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can check out any of our social medias. I'm going to be honest, we're on Facebook the most. We're not on any of them a ton, but Facebook the most. And you can find us there at Podcast ATT. We also post all of our episodes there, so if you're scrolling and you happen to see one, go ahead and give that a click. That'd be okay. That would be just fine. If you really enjoyed this episode, you love the Sort of Truth series, and maybe you love us just a little bit, you can go to patreon.com/podcast
ATT
and make a pledge. I'm sorry, am I rushing you?
No, I had to pet the cat.
You know what? I get it. That's totally fine. But you can go to patreon.com/podcast
ATT
and make a pledge of any amount. Literally does not matter. And you'll get access to our Discord and all of the extra stuff that we throw up on our Patreon. We don't throw up on Patreon, but we throw stuff up there. We upload it. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Hey, if Patreon is not your thing, go ahead and just subscribe to this feed and give us like a rating, preferably a good one. That would be best.
Yeah.
But whatever you think is fair. And if it's not fair, reach out, do that email thing I was talking about. Let us know, and we will make sure to address it.
Yep.
All right, now that is tied off with a bow, thank you guys so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. And we will see you real soon.
Bye. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna go over here and take a look and see what Nate's up to, since we need to record pretty soon here.
Oh my god, no, I was just polishing it, I swear. I swear.
Oh.